Hello, big people, small people, boys and girls all over the world. My name is TV Weez. For some reason, I was looking over there because my little icon thing is over there, a little recording thing. For some reason, I looked at it. But hello, my name is TV Weez. You already knew that. Uh, but welcome back to Silenced, the House. This was actually a pretty good game. When I don't really like to consider it much of a game because I mean there's not much gameplay, but I mean it's a game because it's a graphic novel, but uh, you make the choices and stuff. You know how most graphic novels work. But anyways, enough talking. Let's get into it. Do I trust her? Well, do I? No. I grabbed Kate's hand. You aren't going anywhere. Let me go, you freak. He immediately took nail scissors out of her purse and pierced my eye. Oh my god. Oh. Why is the other one bleeding though? Both are bleeding. Did she pierce both? I shouted in pain and clung to her sleeve tightly as if I wanted to tear it off. I tried to take the scissors out, but this bitch stabbed through my hand and my other eye was damaged. I screamed in pain. My eyes can be restored if I have. Will I have? The first soul had left the house and I heard the sound of someone starting an engine. Help! Help me! Go to hell, you freak! They're gone. But she will help me. Won't she? I just need to draw the defense symbols. I started to crawl around on the floor, searching for a piece of chalk. Blood was dripping down out of my empty pocket. Empty sock. Yeah. My eyes were like bloody waterfalls. God, how painful. Where is it? Damn. Here you are. It was a childish voice. I took the chalk and tried to scratch the floor with it. It was no use. I couldn't see what my hand was doing. It was not the chalk. The thing I clutched with my fingers. I touched the girl's nail and heard the laugh. The devil was laughing. She was laughing. But you can't. No. No. Come to me, Ashley. The child's arms hugged me. I didn't get their souls, but at least you will be mine. Oh. Oh, so that's one of the ends. You have lost your eyes, your allies, your mind, and even your soul. You won't go to heaven. You are not welcome there. And hell doesn't need you either. Because your soul is missing. But don't worry, you still exist somewhere. In the very darkness of silence. In the brightest world of pain. And her. Oh. Can I still... Okay. Let's see what happens when I press yes. Right. Yes. Everything will be fine. I just need to trust her. If I start doubting her, then I won't be sure in anything at all. Finally, Kate got to the car. She began pulling the handle, and her body shivered in fear. The door wouldn't budge. Ella, throw me the keys! Ella threw the keys and they flew in Kate's direction, but the girl didn't catch them. They flew into the thick glass. The girl was feverishly searching the ground for salvation. Her face looked like as though she was digging into someone's innards, blood gushing from them. Her eyes were full of fear. Kate couldn't find the keys. They just disappeared. The girl pulled the handle hard once more, hoping that her guardian angel would open the door. Maybe she was too scared to run. But where could she hide from this living nightmare? The child's room was greetings from hell or to the darkest forest, no place safe. The dead girl in the dress was at the porch staring at Kate. Suddenly she raised her hand like a maestro of death. Kate screamed. In a second, there was a huge explosion and the car blazed in the light. In the night. It was slaughtered as if it had tons of explosives in it. The mangled metal fell on the glass, and the torn away door was hanging on the tree like a hanged man. The bloody rain started to paint the scenery red. A human heart landed within inches of my foot. It nearly made me throw up. Everybody started screaming, but not because their friend was torn apart like a piñata. They were looking at the car's leftovers, from which innards a burning girl was crawling out. Yes, it was her. It was Kate, her skeleton actually. It was decorated with burnt pieces of flesh like a New Year's tree with toys. She rushed to the guys and almost caught one of them. What is this thing? What have you done with Kate? Are you a fool or what? Get out of here. The footballer grabbed Martin's hand and pulled him straight to the house. Ella, shut the door. What the heck was that? Everyone looked at me. Lloyd started shaking me so hard that I couldn't even say a word. And after Kate's innards, I got real sick, so I almost threw up. What have you summoned? Shitty slut, I'll kill you. Let her go. Now we have more important problems to deal with. I was surprised that Martin was so calm. What on earth must happen to make him worry? Probably he's so popular among the girls because of his nerves of steel, and he's pretty handsome too. Suddenly we heard a loud gnashing sound. Ella went to the door. Something was scratching it from the outside. Actually, everyone already knew what was there. The question was, how could it be? This is just sick. What happened to Kate was a mystery. Even I didn't have any explanation of this strange transformation. What can I say? I met the ghost with pyrokinesis for the first time ever. I was crushed by what I saw. And I was slightly deafened by the explosion itself. The sound. It seemed to come from another world, through the ringing in my ears. I've heard this thing scraping my mind, so unbearable, as if it was cutting into my heart. I've always hated this part of the ritual, deliverance. Now at any moment, something could go wrong. Look, this thing is at the window. It is easy to break. You must hide on the upper floors. Ella panicked and ran away from the window, but we still could hide in the woods and get to the highway somehow. She won't give us a chance. We can leave this house only as corpses. Got a better plan? Yeah, we kill the asshole. But we don't even know what this is. Why hasn't it broken a window yet? It can't. The deadly creature was smashing the glass with its head, painting it red, but it couldn't damage the window. The house is some kind of cage. You can go in or out, only through the exit. Lloyd seemed to be more relaxed, but still frightened. Looks like we are safe here. Don't be happy yet, big guy. The thing is outside, waiting for us to kill it. No, there is a better way. Kill the psychic girl. He pointed at me with his trembling finger, but I wasn't afraid of him. I was afraid of the dead. The hunt had begun. You wouldn't be scared of the maniacal fly in the spider's web. Let's kill her. The thing came for her. I know it. He summoned it. You saw everything with your own eyes. Are you insane? I'm innocent, moron. You were the one who made me do it. How could I foresee this shit? I pointed at the window and I realized that the creature wasn't there. It began scratching the door again. Help me. Somebody. Oh my god, it's Kate's voice. She is alive. Are you nuts? Did you miss the explosion, girl? It just can't be her. Use your brain. No way. Don't touch the door, idiot. But it was too late. Skeleton's hand caught the girl's wrist through the door wide open. God, yeah. Martin took a baseball bat and rushed the girl to hit the skeleton's hand, clutching Ella's wrist. I heard a loud crack. Someone just got their teeth in a real tough cookie. Martin fractured the creature's radius bone and it fell on the floor, smashed into pieces. Dead Kate tried to catch Ella's throat by the other hand, but Martin pushed the door and it cut off the monster's limb. We heard a loud shriek from the other side of the door. It was so loud that the glass should break to pieces. Then the bones on the floor turned into little bugs. Ew, that was gross. They crawled to the door, got under it, and left the house. Where did you get that, dude? I thought if we would be in the middle of nowhere, we should have something to defend ourselves. So the baseball bat could be useful, and it was. Thanks for saving me. But why are you so calm? Your girlfriend is a living corpse. This is strange. I agree, very strange indeed. You know why I don't panic? Because we panic, we die, understand? Or do you think I have to do something with it? You are so cold-blooded. It isn't normal. I mean, you dated for months. She was cheating on me with Austin Blauser behind my back for weeks. Okay? Kate was a slut. Slut dies, but I didn't want such a death for her. I mean, it was too much. So cut it off, will you? Didn't you say anything, baby? I thought you just wanted to screw me behind Kate's back. That's okay with me. You are cute. It was my revenge. And I think I just couldn't resist such a girl, sweetie. Okay, lovebirds, what should we do? We will kill you and this nightmare ends. You can't kill her. She is the only person who knows what is happening. Who else knows something about ghosts and monsters? Everyone was silent. I know some things. Even a handful of powder can be deadly. So let her start talking, or I'll break her neck. So how do we kill it? It is not that simple. And what is? Be killed by this thing? Ashley, you must help us. It will be the best birthday present. What do we know? It can't get inside, and we can't get out. I agree with Martin. We must kill it. How? I have no idea. Right now we were allies. We had something in common. We wanted to kill this thing, but the reasons were different. Though I still wanted to get out of here alive like the others, that made me want it dead even more. That was the most important part of the ritual. Otherwise, all is in vain. I closed my eyes and saw myself standing on the floor, covered with stone crumbs. I saw the rays of the sun stretching to my eyes through the glass windows of the abandoned factory. I heard the howling of the steel pipes looking down at me like judges. Machinery and tools were quiet. It was too quiet. So I felt their gaze upon my back every minute. They were watching me with genuine interest. What will she do next? My quiet voice rose upon the graves of silence. The sharp string of my voice cut the stitches on my mouth, and I could feel the dead hallways, speechless rooms with my screams. So I asked her, how should I kill it? I'm afraid this time you're on your own. Her icy smile and demonic gaze made me feel goosebumps. But could she be blamed? It was the other she, and I didn't like the changes that happened to her. She gave me the chance and I used the opportunity. I just had no choice. The other path was just a delusion, and the road sign points only in one direction. Even when I tore apart the monster's body and took the pacemaker out of his rotten guts to destroy it, I still thought it was my life, and I can make things right. But my life already belonged to her. The choice was made, the game began. I was engulfed by the memories, but only for a minute. The second I already knew my next step. When ghost hunting, people often use amulets or spells because it is impossible to damage ghosts physically. They're kind of dead, and not even here. They are the past that can't be reached by the present, but I can. I have a spell that would just do the trick. It will give the ghost girl flesh for a moment, and the monster, I had no idea what to do with it. This will be enough to finish the ritual successfully. I couldn't tell the guys how the ghosts should be killed. Tell about the object which connects the ghosts to this world because the plan could be ruined. I don't want them to pull the trigger of my gun. It's my only task. The materialization of a ghost is my first step. The assassination of the ghost is the second. While all of us must use the spell or it will be too suspicious. And by the way, the material enemy will give them hope to win, but hope only. They will be along my side so I can control them, so they won't be running from me or the ghost, and that is good. But of course, they couldn't kill it. She will grant flesh to the ghost if they cut out her name on their skin. I have an idea, but I'm afraid you won't like it so much. I don't like it already. You can't make it worse. She pierced me with her eyes. Her wish is that she could break my neck, as if I were a turkey to be cooked on Thanksgiving Day. In my eyes, she saw the reflection of herself torturing my body. Near the changing, gleaming blades, her brother was standing in blood, asking, "Are you okay?" He could even hold a camera, shooting their favorite movie. Of course, if she finds him after all, will she find him? That's the question. All of this wasn't okay at all. I feel someone's presence in this house. Suddenly, Lloyd's eyes became red coals. He rushed at me like a speeding train that can't be stopped. "Are you out of your freaking mind? Did you see what you summoned? Did you?" And peeled off the skin of her face back at the nursery. It killed Kate, turned her into the creature, thing. You understand that you'll kill us all, freak? But they want to help us. The girl's parents. It's our best chance. Great idea. Let's summon a bunch of ghost lunatics so they will finish us quickly. If you ask me, we are already doomed. Goddamn my freaking imagination. My mind pictured how amongst the candles the gate to hell appeared with the ghosts crawling out. They filled the ground floor, then the stairs, the first floor, the second. There were so many of them. They needed to divide our limbs into such small pieces, such that Kate's finger is a delicious feast in this dark realm. And before I could see anything else so disgusting, my imagination ran out of battery. We don't have to summon them. They want to give us something. As far as I can tell from the words of the girl's father, he can help us to kill the thing. Lloyd was going to say something, but Ella interrupted him. I wouldn't count on some ghost father of the mad dead girl, but it's better than nothing and looks like a chance. I don't like the idea either, but we really don't have a choice. The documents in the desk in his study. He was doing a research on ghosts, but something went wrong and his daughter set herself on fire while he was away. Now she is controlling the monster. It's her new toy. But the Ouija said, I had to interrupt her. It was driving me mad. It was such a pain to make up these stories, so I didn't want to get the critical reviews on my scenario. It was Lloyd. Did you forget that already? I think that this girl is our main target. She tried to kill us. Maybe the father wants to help, so the father has my point of trust. It's wise. The girl, that's our problem. I would trust neither little Brett nor her old man. If you're so smart, then finish her on your own. I threw the baseball bat to Lloyd and burst the door wide open. It's good that I knew the thing was near the car now, not at our front door. Lloyd screamed in fear. If he was more quiet, it wouldn't even notice us, but he was screaming so loudly that the dead of the graveyard on the outskirts of the city would hear. No, shut it! The creature rushed to the door and now everyone screamed. Kate's corpse almost peeked inside the house. Her long arms clenched the rail of the porch, but we could feel her dead cold fingers grabbing our hearts beating in horror. Lloyd was so frightened that I thought the guy would have a heart attack. He hysterically threw the baseball bat at the monster's head and hit his face in his hand. Martin's face changed. He clenched his teeth and he was like a different person now. He bared his teeth and pushed me with his shoulder hard. So hard that I almost kicked out of the house. Don't be an idiot, Ashley. She didn't hold me. I would be there, outside the house. Martin wanted me there. He wanted to kill me. Maybe he knew something. Maybe he just got sick of me. But there is no doubt he wanted to kill me. Freaking bloody killer. Well, Martin, after all, you deserve to be punished. What the hell? You're already in deep shit. If this thing gets in here, it will be the end. Sorry about that, I didn't mean to push you. Don't be stupid next time. Was he really sorry? I couldn't tell. Maybe he was lying to me. And why do I care anyway? He won't make it out alive anyway. That was so cool, big guy. Lloyd couldn't say a word, because Martin beat him up already. It was my favorite bat, just for the record. Martin punched Lloyd and kicked him in the stomach. Ella tried to stop him. I think that he's had enough already. Let's find the document. Martin calmed down. I'll have to find them. He helped Lloyd to get up. Sorry, but I'm very upset that I lost it. I almost beat the guy to death because I'm some baseball bat. But he nearly ignored his girlfriend's death. Martin, you were such a mystery. Lloyd, Martin, Grace, and I went upstairs. Ella stayed on the first floor to be on guard. She wasn't a coward, but a nice girl, though I saw her hand shaking. We followed the voice, which I kind of hear in my head. Of course, it guided us to the documents. My mind was full of thoughts and guessings of what was about to happen next. But still, the most interesting were the victims. The house, along with these guys, was just a box full of candies. They all had the chocolate skin and rotten souls sinking in bloody cream. Bones, teeth, and flesh revealed themselves to remind us about the past. Some people try to forget their horrible secrets. Others put them in a jewel box and peek inside to remember their true self. Some don't even try to hide their past. It is the centerpiece of their collection. They keep it safe in a glass jar and take care of it, wiping dust from it every day of the week like Martin Gray. I know that he was a collection of such jars, somewhere inside his dead heart. Death is not a tragedy for him. It is his reason of its existence. And you have the right vision of the thing as usual. I was always fond of your way of thinking. As I can read only your thoughts, you are my favorite book, Ashley. Don't screw with my head, and I'm not some stupid book. But I have nothing else to do while these assholes are searching for the documents. Ashley. The last story about the Midnight Curse was much better than this. It is not for you to decide which story I should tell. And I'm so angry at you right now. We are in serious shit because of your innovations. 2 monsters at a time. It was just the best idea, thanks a lot. How am I supposed to kill them? I thought that it won't be bad to make the show more interesting, since otherwise I would bored to death. You always kill them so easily. Boring. It is not some kind of boss in an RPG. You kill the one, the other dies. It's that simple. Hang on. Okay, once again I accidentally skipped. I didn't mean to do. Okay, where was I? Okay, Don't try to fool me, even if I... Ouch! My head struck the wall. Ha ha ha, that was brilliant. You were too focused on this document. You didn't notice the wall and this ouch of yours. Ha ha ha. Hilarious. Go to hell. Who are you talking to? And to the wall, I guess. Here's the cabinet. I remember how I was looking for the newspapers for the Doll Inquisition, but the room was empty. Lloyd, it isn't now. Well, it is now. We entered the cabinet. Everything in this room hinted on some research. Mostly it was theoretical, as there was no signs of the experiments The pile of paper rested on the table, and some files were scattered around on the floor. Schemes and pictures were pinned to the wall, and while a strange shelf with jars and medicine made me think of this place as a mad scientist lair. One of the walls was decorated by a deer's head, and above it, a shotgun was hanging. There was a door to a balcony in the room, but we couldn't open it. There was no way out, and Lloyd panicked. He took the gun off the wall to point it at me. "What the hell are you doing? We're all in this shit together." I didn't pay attention to Lloyd's aggressive gestures towards me. I looked at the barrel of the gun and smiled wryly. I knew that the gun isn't loaded. "You won't scare me, boy." I continued to examine the desk drawer and soon found the document and her newspaper. It was her favorite trick. The newspaper was empty for now, and in the document I could find the spell of ghost materialization. I showed it to everyone. "This will do just the thing. We can use the gun for the monster, I think." Lloyd pinned his fingers in the gun like it was a lifeboat that would carry him away from the sea of nightmares. Not even close. It was just a weapon without ammo, though in seconds I gave him a pack of metal shells. They're fun for hunting. If we are lucky, we could kill some game. This isn't a store. Take this and be grateful. He took the knife, which was lying on the table. It's such a luck to find it here. I grinned. The knife cut my skin, and a drop of blood followed its blade. With surgical precision, trying not to touch the veins, I was carving the materialization spell. We all need to do it. That's what the ghost said? I nodded. Everyone carved the spell into their skin, but Grace. The girl hesitated to follow my example, but finally took off the bracelet, and a knife appeared in her hand. Alright, so I can... Oh, hello. Girl, yep, okay, yep. Martin's face changed. "What are you doing? Why did you take it off?" "Put it on. Put the thing on immediately, Grace." "What's wrong with you?" "I can't do it with my left hand." That moment, Martin clenched Grace's hand and put the bracelet on her hand. Then he realized what he was doing. The bracelet brings luck. We will have more chances to get out of here alive. Maybe I should put it on. Grace refuses. "You won't dare." Martin wanted to hit Lloyd, but he pulled the trigger. Martin dodged a shotgun. The shell broke the glass of the medicine shelf. "Freaking asshole." "Hey, calm down, both of you. I don't give a shit about the bracelet." The girl smashed the present on the floor and took the shotgun. "Lloyd, you idiot. You almost killed Martin. You should be more careful with that." Lloyd looked very guilty, and Martin, as if nothing had happened, took the bracelet and put it in his pocket. "Never mind. Are you ready, guys?" Grace wiped the blood from her skin. "Yes, now I'm ready." We heard a scream and got past all of our disagreements at once. It was time for us to go down the stairs and face the danger. Chick, 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 ha ha ha. The scene that I saw was terrifying enough. Ella curled in fear beside the wall. The door was wide open. The creature was standing in the center of a hall. The little girl was hovering from behind. Her fingers seemed to squeeze invisible threads, ends of which were sinking in the remains of the human flesh of the skeleton of Kate. Only now I noticed how chaotic and quick the movements of her head and body were. It was like poorly staged play. I'll kill them all, with a story so shockingly bad that it seems the creature itself didn't know what to do with all these screeching teenagers. Oh yes, we utterly screeched. Even me, it's hard to resist, as if someone yawns, very sticky and evocative thing. Kate, maybe there's something left of her still. Her wretched little soul hanging in a web of guts and blood. Slowly approached Ella. She was shaking all over. It seemed that she wanted to escape from the invisible cage, but could not. She wanted to run away. On the contrary, strangle Ella, and then Grace for winning the beauty contest. Her mouth hole reminded me of a crescent moon. Kate's skeleton shouted as if to her fans, "Look at me, here I am, the real beauty queen. My bald head burns a flame in the form of a crown. My fans, come on, support me." And then, out of the empty eye holes the two antennas showed up. The cockroaches run out of her eye sockets and the worms creep out of her ears. All of them chant, "Kate missed the world. Kate is the queen of beauty. Beauty kills." One of the cockroaches remarked she killed Keith Rivals. More precisely, her absence, noted the cockroach with the longer whatever. My mind put me somewhere else once again. I guess, oh my freaking imagination. What the hell are you doing here? Quick, run to others upstairs. Suddenly, Martin runs down the stairs and pointed the gun at the creature. Now that was one hell of a twist. Lloyd was dumbstruck. A minute ago, it was him who held the gun, and now his hands were empty, his fingers cold. You want to be picking lead out of your stomach, motherfucker? It seemed that Martin wanted to finish him quick. I heard a click of the slide, like a thunderclap. It was a deafening shot. The creature's face was half demolished. No, I'm sorry, the mistake. Half of a skull. Well, there was, of course, some skin on it, but I still wouldn't call it a face. This couldn't be powdered. The creature backed away, but the girl behind her waved her arms, obviously urging the monster to kill Martin. Although the scene did immediately move my idea of the controlling threads of a dark puppeteer to the darkest corner of my mind. Kate's skeleton opened her toothy, bony mouth, or rather, what was left of it. I thought that now this skull was cracked. Will crack, but no. Always good for the monster. What's that? Like a bug or something fell down. All was good for the monster, of course, Martin. Okay, yeah. His hands seemed to have completely refused to see him as a monster. In general, they refused to be human, and like some kind of mechanism, they quickly started loading the gun and shooting. They were no longer led by Martin. There was not even the slightest certainty that anything remained of him. Now these fingers, these hands, and the whole limb were guided by the idea of surviving at any cost. And everything would be fine, but these shots were so loud that it seemed as if Martin was standing right in my head and shooting at the monster and even missed faster. And all these damned bullets were piercing my brain, making my head ache. I do not know, maybe I have a very sensitive nature. But he doesn't know it. Moreover, the monster doesn't know it either. And even if he did know, it wouldn't help the case. But at the moment when the shot broke through the cervical spine of the monster, my heart trembled. Martin nearly broke her damn locket, which for a moment flashed on the monster's neck. The object. I saw a lot of such objects in my short life. Medallions, necklaces, rings, no fantasy at all. They can barely be seen by the human eye and exist simultaneously in two worlds, ours and the other world. They let the ghosts stay here. Humans must escort them to the door with the inscription exit. Meanwhile, it became hot in here, and it's time to join the fight. I looked at everyone else. They tremble like pigs in the pen who are suddenly granted a mind and realize that a butcher stands before them. You must help him. He will run out of ammunition. He knows when we will need him. Don't just stand there, do something. I began to push Lloyd from the stairs, but the guy didn't want to go to the battlefield. He clenched his fingers in the stairway rails so firmly that I would need to cut his hands off to get him to get moving. Are you insane? Stop this madness, Magic. He is the one with the gun. His voice sounded threatening, but he was spooked and he was shaking. He was shaking so much that I thought now all the steps will begin to jump up, like a child's xylophone. Oh, what had I expected from it? But if in the presence of this pile of muscles, I immediately rushed into battle, would be at least strange. Above, something flashed. On the second floor, right next to the last step, was laying an axe. Thanks. She didn't say anything. I could feel her smile tighten. The corners of my lips suddenly turned into snakes that wrap around my neck and turn into a loop. But before she caught my throat, before jumping into the void. I was able to overcome uncertainty and fear. It was not the first time, but who said that it's easy to kill a monster? Whoever said that it's easy to kill? I clearly remembered me standing in the middle of the glass shards in the mental hospital. Ryan smiled. When the first ghost appeared, it was a girl. She looked at me with her faded eyes and called me into her world, but I didn't go. I poked a loaded revolver in the object that was her mind, bind to our world. A piggy bank was in her hands, and fired. It was easy, only a moment, but it seemed to last forever. It seemed that I drowned in the abyss of her dead eyes. I have fallen into her dead brain and got lost in a labyrinth of convolutions. All these thoughts whizzed through my head. My instincts were quicker than my doubt and almost instant. In order not to change my mind, I rushed to the axe and then went down to Martin. Shoot the legs until you'll break them. Sounded at least like an order from the commander, and probably more because of how it sounded. Rather than actual logic, so the guy did. A swarm of metal spheres flew from the muzzle. A shot struck the bottom of her leg. One of the balls was struck in the patella, and at the same time it was in my head. The two more balls were embedded in the bone. The rest fell behind the creature. A few more shots were fired, but the bone didn't want to break. I already wanted to say, "What the hell, man? Just give me a gun." No, but only I had to break the locket by all means, while pretending that I had chopped off the creature's head. How difficult is it, damn it? I swore to myself that if this asshole doesn't bother to fight off a dead stinker's leg, I'll cut it to pieces. But he could not do it with two more shots. I was ready to admit that he did not shoot all with the bullets. Not all with bullets, but with their shadows or even ghosts, and maybe just missed. In general, my patience began shortening, forcing me to slaughter a bastard. A miracle happened. Finally, I heard a long-awaited crack. The bone crunched, and pulling the scraps of meat behind it, began to bow to the floor. The bullet, which overgrew with bones, body, and strength, became real and punched the damn bone. A battering ram destroyed the tower of the citadel, and the monster fell. I ran abruptly to the monster and wanted to hit his hand with the axe, but the dead Kate seemed to be quicker than the alive Kate. She jerked her hand away and the axe densely entered the wooden floor, breaking through the boards. I jerked it out with all my strength, but it was stuck. Her laughter was heard. For a second it seemed like to me that a sharp row of her teeth flashed on the blade of the axe, and she smiled. Perhaps it gave me strength, and maybe she decided to help me. I do not know how, but I still managed to free up the axe and bring it back for a blow. As I sentenced, the guillotine blade fell to the head of the creature. Heavy metal cut the cervical section. But if I did not cut the medallion with my next step, the monster could be reborn and come with renewed strength. And we do not need this ship. But to hide the exact direction of my blow, I began to beat the creature more and more, pretending that I was hysterical, and that what is happening is just driving me crazy. Inch by inch, the skin of the dead skeleton began to appear. Soon, I saw Kate. Her head was still separated from her torso, but the wounds were healed. There was a cry. It was the ghost girl. I did not pay any attention to her. Blood poured over my face. My fingers tightly squeezed the axe. This trick of hers I saw for the first time. She does not cease to amaze me. I felt how the cold energy began to fill me, as my body was under the ice. It's like she's coming home from work. Unlock the door and change into her home clothes. Although I do not know if there is a work in the world of the dead that suits her age, my hands began to tingle. My eyes shed tears. The tooth which I tightly clenched in my pocket cut my fingers. She is ready. Measured steps. She walks down the corridor, touching the walls with her cold, pale fingers, as if touching my skin. I knew where she was going, and when the dining room door opened, I knew how hungry she was. Her mouth widened, and her eyes became black holes, but only for a moment. She went to the table and lifted the lid of the tray. The room was filled with the unbearable smell of rotten organs and blood. Under it lay the insides. Heart, brain, and guts were wrapped around the skin flaps. Near them on the delicacy plate neatly lay the eyes. Her thin fingers slowly lowered, took one eye very carefully, like it was the most precious treasure, and put it on her tongue, then swallowed it. She took another organ and it also went into her mouth. She ate the rest of the insides, wrapping them around a fork and piercing, after cutting the heart and brain into small pieces to make it convenient to chew. Envy with a taste of contempt and cold blood is an ideal combination. Chef Bravo. I swallowed it. I didn't like these images in my head at all, but what could I do? I have always said that I have too lively of an imagination. She always used it against me at any convenient moment. All the time it seemed to her that everything was too simple, that drama scene was too little. Since we are not doing this very often, we must savor every moment, enjoy every second. Perhaps she wanted to share her happy moments with me, but in any case, this scene in my head was almost made me sick to my stomach. Did you see it? She became a human again. Martin looked at me, didn't lower the gun. Yes, it was too fast to comprehend. There was a moment when I thought that I'm already dead, or that this is just a very bad dream. But we didn't have a choice. Good job, Ashley. Nice. We need to get out of here. Everyone rushed to the exit. What the hell? When their hands finally reached freedom, the door closed shut. I didn't look at it, as I knew there was no exit. No, that can't be. Shit. Martin aimed at the lock and made a shot, and another one. And then he saw the holes in the door, but that the lock remained intact. The guy looked through it, like through a transparent tape. Through the change, scratches were seen. Not too well. It was clear that they were ghost-like. What the hell? You did this, freak! I saw that Grace wanted to say something, but she didn't. If she did so, her brother would be punished. I was no pro at kidnapping, but I needed to gain the control of Grace by any means. So as bait, I held her brother as a hostage, though of course it was just a trick. It was her brother wanting to prank his sister. That was handy. Lloyd punched Martin in the face, and the guy fell down. This mad bull ripped the weapon from Martin's grasp. It's my payback, you asshole. He pointed a shotgun at me, and for a moment I thought that I lost. But he seemed so confident in his power that he was about to make a mistake by underestimating me. I don't need bullets because I don't want to kill you. I'll beat you with this damn thing until you tell me how to get out of this shit. Grace smirked, even without her tips. I was in danger, but I understood what I was doing when I agreed, and Lloyd had a lot of reasons not to trust me. As then in the factory, if the control center had not exploded, which should not have been working, by the way, I would have been cut in two. He was already stepping in my direction, throwing up his gun. I was scared. I was not afraid of the pain that he would cause me, the consequences of failure that could shake the most daring imagination. I began to slowly climb up the stairs. Come to daddy, Ashley. Lloyd looked at me with ravenous eyes, like I was his prey. I couldn't even understand. He wanted to rape me and then kill me, or vice versa. I could not imagine what was happening in his head, what thoughts were behind these eyes, sharp like blades that would strip my body. Then I realized that I was wrong. Still, it was scary, very scary. He was simply insane. He was devoured by the idea of killing me, destroying me. All of his gestures told me that he wanted blood. His teeth flashed in the light of the pale moon, and his fingers, like the claws of a bird of prey, dug into the railing. He said he would beat the information out of me, but that was far from the truth. More precisely, he would do something terrible with me, right after he received the answers, and they would not satisfy him. Although even if the door had opened, would have killed me, probably. He is a notorious killer. A number of his victims too. Now I heard them. They were near. And with each second, when he was getting closer to me, they also took a step forward. Lloyd had completely gone mad. He quietly laughed and began to sneak up the stairs, as if afraid to frighten me. He's a hunter and I'm a game. But all the same, he could not stand it and threw himself at me. He grabbed me by the hood and almost pushed me off the stairs. He wanted to hit me with his head on the step to cut my skull. God, how he wanted to see my crushed brain, to step on it and climb up the career ladder of a killer, to go even higher. He wanted to, but had hid his desire all these years. Martin is not as mad as him, although I'm sure that he has a lot of victims behind him. But Martin killed them neatly, with love, if I may say so. He counted them and remembered forever. As for this psychopath, he killed once, and since then, he could not remember the taste of blood, as if he was afraid of something. But he is not afraid anymore. Damn those eyes. He remembered its taste, and now it overflows within him. Blood draining like scarlet snakes on his tongue and pouring all around his face. Like I was drowning in it, seeing in front of him only a red veil of hatred, anger, and incredible thirst. When the psycho attacked for the first time, I broke free, but Lloyd hit my leg with the metal barrel, and I began to limp a little, but still managed to climb higher. He again swung his weapon at me, hit me in the temple. I almost died on the spot, but still had some strength. She gave it to me when I touched the tooth. When I dragged my leaded body to the second floor, I dipped my finger in the blood and drew her symbol, so she would give me even more strength. I felt much better. The pain was overshadowed. I rushed into the office and saw that there was a revolver on the desk. Old, slightly rusted, with a faded inscription, most likely loaded and created a few minutes ago. I automatically grabbed it and began to look for a safe place like a trapped beast. I was wondering why she was speechless. I wanted her advice, what to do next. Soon I realized that she was not interested in helping me so much, because then, from all this action-packed scene, she won't have an exciting show. And unfortunately, I could not start a dialogue with her first. She did not hear me. The door to the balcony suddenly opened, and I immediately realized that this invitation was addressed to me. The hands of the wind were calling me, gently touching my cheeks and stinging a wound on my forehead. Lloyd was already close enough. I ran to the balcony, and this psychopath rushed after me. The moon illuminated his crooked face with its pale colors. From this, he looked even more insane. It is over now. Now, you will be playing only by Daddy's rules, my girl. There was a noise. Maybe it was steps. Perhaps Grace and Ella did not really want to get involved with Lloyd's half-wit, but I think Martin was already awake. It could be him. Or it's just a branch knocking on the grass. Everything is possible in this strange world. Maybe I should just jump down into the darkness and break my neck. Maybe, but she won't let me. I would like to shoot a bullet into Lloyd's head. No, of course I won't kill him. But who said that I can't shoot his foot or something like that? The ghost said, that too. I can't do anything to Lloyd or anyone else. All pain must belong to them, and otherwise all is in vain. But she still gave me the weapon, knowing that I could not use it. I could hear her laughing. I squeezed the revolver in my hand. She started to fear that I would kill him, and I could. I did not have to answer for my actions anymore. To hell with the deal. I'll just kill the motherfucker and come what may. God, how my temple hurts, and how he pisses me off. The moon lit up the balcony like a searchlight, brightening the scene, and the show was about to begin. I already heard them. They were close, right behind me, down there, under the balcony. I leaned over the railing and felt a cold flow of air coming from behind. I aimed at Lloyd and took my hand away so that the bullet did not hit him. Then pulled the trigger. Do you want to kill me, idiot? Go ahead, shoot. He took my hand and pressed it to his chest, squeezed my finger on the trigger. Flick, misfire, misfire. I am immortal. My deeds are immortal. You can't do anything about it, freaking witch. I snatched my way ahead and threw the revolver from the balcony, so as to not accidentally wound this motherfucker. Lloyd came at me and put the metal barrel to my temple. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a witch girl by the toe. If she cries, don't let her go. Take a knife and cut her throat. He fell silent, his hand holding onto the barrel, weakened in his eyes. Instead of madness, they clearly showed fear. Someone grabbed his hand slightly. It was a dark-haired girl. She quickly climbed onto the balcony, and a young guy followed her. Since the balcony was quite high, I had no doubt that this couple were ghosts. They both had the same tattoo as Lloyd's, a lizard. This girl's hair was thrown back by the wind. Her white neck gleamed from the reflection of the pale moon on the glass. Nadine, Tom. They didn't say a word. Perhaps they had something to say to him. Only their mouths were stitched up, as always, a frightened image of a vengeful ghost. Their glassy eyes reflected Lloyd's distorted face. Perhaps, if the seams had parted, they would have screeched in pain or despair. Lloyd stepped back, but the spirits are already gone. The ghosts left me alone with the mad guy. It was strange. I thought they were teaching him a lesson. I could feel how they rushed to him to finish him off. But she seemed to hold them back. They were like chained dogs who can't resist the will of their mistress. Lloyd clenched his teeth and tried to hit me on the head with a weapon, but I dodged. God damn your freaking games again. You can say my name and let me in, then I will finish the boy myself. I bent so Lloyd couldn't throw me across the railing. The crumbs of paint fell on my hood. Now, you will have them only using the book. The guy grabbed me by the throat and slowly began to lift. I'm very light, so it's easy to throw me from the balcony. Well then, let me delay this sweet moment for a little. Tension always arouses my interest, you know. Help me, god damn it. Okay, now have fun. Lloyd's wrist hurt, and he released me. I walked away from the railing. Heck. It was very difficult to dodge his attacks. Lloyd was very tough and strong, and yet he was insane. Everyone knows that the person who is off his rocker is much stronger than normal. He grabbed me and threw me on the ground. I already thought that I couldn't get up, but touching the tooth I could. Then I realized that continuing this madness is meaningless. I need to run away from this monster. Moonlight passed along the rails of the balcony. Behind them was a window. The window seemed to come out from the wall of the house to admire scenery. A dark forest in which I couldn't see a damn thing, and a moon that strolled along the branches and the crowns of trees. Pale legs. I pushed Lloyd away and ran to the railing. I climbed on them and jumped, putting my hands forward. I sharply grasped the protruding edge, but at the same time I banged my head against the stone, so I almost unclenched my fingers. Spitting blood into the dark abyss of the night, I began to strain my hands to pull myself up. All of my muscles ached, but somehow I did it. I felt dizzy, and I nearly fell down again. But my self-preservation instinct worked just in time. My hand gripped the ledge to which the columns of the balconies of the third floor were driven. I clung to it with all my strength, and again, feeling the pain of my joints, I pulled myself up. As soon as I climbed onto the balcony, I immediately fell to the cold stone floor. There was a knock. I jumped, and leaning over the railing, I saw Lloyd, who was hanging, holding onto the ledge. I stepped back. Stairs. I saw her while I climbed here. I ran up to her and quickly, despite the fact that my whole body ached, I climbed to the roof. I have nowhere to run. Maybe it's time for the show? I think you are right. Her voice sounded offended. It's like I just took a toy from a child. Well, excuse me, the toy clenching its teeth. Some kind of mechanism climbed up to me on the roof. Of course, Lloyd was a toy, because I was an instrument. He ran at me. The guy was already without a weapon, but his hands could already inflict serious bodily harm, or maybe he'll just throw me off the roof. Suddenly there was a strange sound, and before me appeared a dark wall of fluttering wings. The raven struck Lloyd, but they did not touch him. All pain must belong to them. The guy was already near the edge of the roof. I almost screamed with fright when he fell. Excuse me. I almost screamed with fright when he fell, but then there were ghosts. It seemed to me that I heard their names, voices whisper, Nadim, Thomas. They caught Lloyd and dragged him to the roof. The crows disappeared and nothing protected me, which means that this is the end. They dragged him, screaming into the moonlit spot to make the execution. I was very curious what they would do to him. You need to return to the house now. Her voice was tense. You might even say frightened. Oh, a choice. So, probably got plenty of this story to go. So, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this here. That is what I'm going to do. If you guys enjoyed this, press that like button. Comment if you have any suggestions. Subscribe to my channel. This has been TV Weez. I'm out.